This evening on ENN Tonight.
Doing homework and taking quizzes at Elon is about to look different. Why the school is swapping Moodle for Canvas and what students are saying about the big change.
A community comes together to honor a victim of a lynching. How a powerful vigil is keeping his story and history alive.
All of our children, all of our folks here locally and broadly should know about racial terror lynching.
Black history takes center court as Elon's women's basketball played Campbell University. How the night celebrated culture, community, and how the game ended. Stay tuned for more on Elon Sports.
Those stories and more.
ENN Tonight starts now. Good evening and thank you for joining us for ENN Tonight. I'm Charlotte Fabi.
And I'm Alice Morrissey. Let's dive right into this week's top stories.
The numbers came out today and enrollment has dropped. Elon's registrar's report for the spring shows enrollment has gotten below 6,000 for the first time in 8 years. Compared to last year's report, Elon is down a little over 250 students for next year. This year, Elon's campus totals over 6,000 students. And just like last year, the top 5 states are North Carolina, Massachusetts, New Jersey, New York, and Virginia, in that order. As for majors, over 600 students are declared finance majors, with psychology, marketing, strategic communications, and exercise science falling shorter behind. But what's interesting is that both financial technology and nursing saw an over 50% increase.
Elon announced that it's moving away from Moodle, its current learning management system, and transitioning into a new one. ENN's Angelina Fantaroni has the rundown on what the community can expect.
Looking to turn in an assignment? Elon students may be used to Moodle, but next year it's going to look a whole lot different because Elon's making a transition. Canvas, a similar school assignment platform, will become the next Moodle for Elon students. Kelly Reamer, Senior Director of Teaching and Learning Technologies at Elon, says that the university did an overall evaluation of Moodle.
We really learned through that process that although Moodle was meeting needs in particular areas, it was missing the mark in other areas.
Canvas training will be given to faculty first, and according to Reamer, 50% of students at Elon have used Canvas before.
So then once they've got their system up and running and they feel comfortable with their courses, of course, then we're going to offer the support for our students as well.
Even abroad in France, some Elon students are already using Canvas, like sophomore Autumn Kelly, who says she is not a huge fan of the platform.
Canvas has like a bajillion different pages you can go to and like different channels, I guess, compared to Moodle.
No spring courses will be impacted by this transition. Angelina Fantaroni, ENN Tonight.
Queen's University of Charlotte also uses Canvas, but Reamer says that the biggest factor is identifying a system that should meet the needs of the Elon community.
The city of Mebane will be expanding its city hall with a new purchase. The city council voted unanimously to purchase a dentist's office and parking lot for $325,000. The property is across the street from the city hall. Mebane City Council member Kate Burkholder says that with this new purchase, the city hopes to expand parking and office spaces for its staff.
Short term, we'll use it for parking. Long term, we may have some other plans. It kind of was not something we were expecting to have the opportunity to do. So in some ways, it's kind of neat that we're at the beginning of this and being able to think through some things.
Burkholder says she sees the purchase as a continued measure to show appreciation for staff. And in other political news, the primary election is coming up, and there's an ongoing fight over who controls elections in North Carolina. ENN's Lily Mossbacher is in the studio with the details. Lily?
Thanks, Charlotte. Governor Josh Stein and Republican lawmakers are in court over who should have power over North Carolina elections. At the center of the case is whether that power belongs to the governor or to Republican State Auditor Dave Boliak. In the past, the governor appointed members to the State Board of Elections, which sets voting rules across all 100 counties. But last April, lawmakers passed Senate Bill 382, which moved that power from the governor to the state auditor. After that change, Auditor Dave Boliek appointed 3 Republicans, giving the party control of the board. Governor Stein sued, saying the change violates the state constitution and could reduce accountability to voters. Republican lawmakers and Boliek argue the legislature has the right to make that change, since both positions are part of the executive branch. Their attorneys also say this is a political issue that should not be decided by the courts. Meanwhile, the new board has already made changes to some early voting locations and schedules ahead of the primary. The governor says some of those changes reduce campus and Sunday voting options. Boliek says early voting locations have increased overall. The case has been moving through the courts for nearly 10 months and could eventually reach the state Supreme Court. For now, it's still unclear who will have final control over North Carolina's elections. That's all I have for you right now. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Lily. The next week's election will be one to watch.
Early voting started on the 12th, but Elon is one of many North Carolina universities that were not chosen as an early voting site. In the past, Elon was an early voting site for the presidential and midterm elections, but why not this cycle? Assistant Dean of Campus Life Bob Frigo was told Elon News Network that though Elon was up for hosting and was even reached out to by the Alamance County Board of Elections, the state board struck down the request. There is an expected higher early voting turnout this year, but Elon was still not chosen to help out. Frigo wrote that he was disappointed Elon wasn't selected as a polling place, and some students at other universities that were not chosen sued the State Board of Elections over the issue because they say it's important for students to also vote. On March 3rd, voters will pick nominees for the U.S. Senate and House of Representatives.
In honor of the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence, Elon is hosting some events to celebrate the milestone. These events will be between now and June. According to Today at Elon, the events are to encourage reflection on the nation's principles while also making a space for conversations about the ups and downs shaping the country's future. We talked to the president of Elon College Republicans, Peyton Bryn, who was not on campus this week, to learn why celebrating our nation's history is important and what the anniversary says about the state of our country today. We also reached out to Elon College Democrats, however, they were not available to comment.
I think it's important to have a balance. I think it's important for the university to acknowledge what our country was built on. I think it's important to have open dialogue, even if you disagree with each other. You just can't silence each other.
The next event is a Women's History Month luncheon on March 10th. This will have representatives from the Charlotte Hawkins Brown Museum. An annual event that remembers Alamance history, a vigil for lynching victim Wyatt Outlaw. Our Angelina Fantaroni has the importance behind his legacy.
The vigil started with a prayer.
We say that Black lives stolen by violence will be remembered with dignity.
And continued with a song.
Sweet chariot, coming for the carrying home.
This year, co-author of his book about Outlaw's life in Graham, Sylvester Allen Jr., shared passages with the crowd. He says the vigil brings much needed awareness.
There's been so much turmoil and civil unrest that a story like Wyatt Outlaw really puts things into perspective.
Candles were given to people to raise during This Little Light of Mine. Co-curator of the coalition, Lashana Austria, says events like this are important because these stories are not usually taught in schools, but she thinks they should be.
All of our children, all of our folks here locally and broadly should know about racial terror lynching, and so that we can learn from those stories, learn from that history, and make sure that we move in a different way going forward.
Attendees were given the chance to touch the dirt from Outlaw's lynching site at the end of the vigil. Angelina Fantaroni, ENN Tonight.
Allen Jr.'s book is available at the Alamance County Cultural Arts and History Center.
And flying in after the break, Jet Zero is coming to the Piedmont Triad. Hear from CEO Tom O'Leary and his message to Elon University students.
It was looking pretty chilly today. Let's see what the rest of tonight is looking like after the break.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
You gotta stop with that depressing stuff.
That's what white people think. You all right?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
Whether it's our stories, the warmth of our laugh, or our family's secret sauce, we all bring something different to the table. So make some space. The power of connection is waiting right outside your comfort zone. Learn how you can help strengthen your community at belongingbeginswithus.org/teamup.
There's only one thing that will save somebody's life, and that is naloxone nasal spray. Get 911 on the phone, get the emergency responses there on their way.
Yo, camping buddy. Okay, you guys ready?
Dude, I thought you were driving.
I thought you were driving.
Oh, I never said I was driving.
I definitely can't drive.
If you're high, just don't drive. It's illegal everywhere. If you feel different, you drive different.
Hate is loud, but love is the majority.
Welcome back. It was pretty cold today and I had to pull out my jacket. Our Mackenzie Cruz is in the studio with tonight's evening weather. Mackenzie, what's it looking like for the rest of tonight?
Thanks, Charlotte. After a very cold and windy Monday, we're looking at an even colder evening. Now for tonight's forecast. The sun will set at 6:07 p.m. and at 7 p.m. there will be a high of 35 and partly cloudy skies. At 9, a high of 32, and at 11, a high of 29. The clouds and high winds will continue throughout the night, making it feel about 15 degrees colder, so make sure you bundle up. That's all I have for you tonight. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Mackenzie. She'll be back after next break for a look into the forecast for the rest of the week.
Former Assistant Director of Community Partnerships, Sarah Beth Hardley, will be taking on a new role as Director of Community Partnerships. Hardley will continue her current responsibilities at the Kernodle Center for Civic Life, but she'll also help faculty merge community engagement into their courses and work on partnering with nonprofits, local schools, and businesses. Hardley will begin her new role next Sunday.
A new aircraft manufacturing facility for Jet Zero, an aerospace company, is coming to Piedmont Triad Airport. Jet Zero's goal is to create planes that are more efficient. The company has partnered with some big names like NASA, Delta Airlines, and they also won a grant from the United States Air Force. The co-founder and CEO of Jet Zero, Tom O'Leary, visited campus to talk to Elon's students. I sat down with him to ask about the plans for the PTI facility and what advice he has for college students. Let's take a look at part of this interview. You announced that you would be building your first manufacturing facility here in North Carolina in Greensboro at the Piedmont Triad Airport. What were the key factors in that decision, and how do you see this, benefiting Jet Zero?
Well, that team and their partnership ability. So it was Josh Stein and Lee Lilly who runs who runs economic development there, and there were a host of other folks that were involved. And they really inspired us about North Carolina being this really, great place to build a business. And we looked at all the factors, and one of them was, of course, what is the caliber of the educational system that surrounds the area. So obviously there's great universities here, and we really like that.
Here at Elon, there's students that are doing the same thing that you're doing and might want to go into aerospace, but they're not studying that. What advice do you have for them or about wanting to build a career?
Be confident in the quality of your liberal arts education. You have a tremendous advantage. And I would urge anyone at Elon to be super confident, because as we go forward into a world of AI, you have people spending a lot on their very hyper-specialized degrees, and I just see the value of that. I'm long on liberal arts, and I'm a short seller on hyper-specialized college degrees.
Governor Stein says that 14,000 jobs will be added from the new facility. And for the full interview with the CEO of JetZero, visit our YouTube channel, Elon News Network.
Starting next fall, Elon's external study abroad fee will have a new price. The price went down by over $1,000, making the new total $3,500. In an email to faculty and staff, Dean of Global Education Nick Gozick says that this new price is due to the rise in tuition. Gozick's email says, in the past, if the program's cost was less than Elon's published tuition, there was a refund for the difference in costs. Gozick says that this refund was taken away because the university usually covers scholarships and other supports for students. So, if the overall price goes down, they won't have to give out this refund.
Coming up after the break, the Elon Phoenix take the court in all black for a powerful Black History Month celebration. How the night brought together basketball, culture, and community.
Elon's Student Union Board is bringing students together one game at a time. How these weekend game nights are creating community after the break.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping, maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Even more than I wanted a gold medal, I wanted a heart of gold, like the mentors who were my balance beams, refusing to let me down, and the coaches who spoke out to anything out of bounds, heroes who never stood on podiums, but stood up for me. Every shot I made, give the assist to those who since my youth were referees, ready to blow the whistle and end abuse.
I rescued Toast from a shelter in 2011. I love Toast because she's a lazy diva. Toast does whatever she wants, obviously. She's sleeping right now. She's an epic snuggler. She's so comforting. She's so loving. Toast makes me laugh. When I walked into the shelter, I knew right then that she was special.
Kudos, Carl. You've always had a need for speed. Racing anything with wheels, speed reading novels in record time, yelling out 3, 2, 1 at every traffic light. But this time, you've taken your power obsession to the next level. By purchasing this electric vehicle, you've given yourself instant torque that blows your old launch times away, which will keep you saying, woo-wee, every time you punch the pedal. Good for your adrenaline, great for the planet. That's the power of EV.
Welcome back, and thanks for joining us. I'm Charlotte Fabi.
And I'm Alice Morrissey. Elon women's basketball celebrated Black History Month in more than one way Friday night.
All while blending culture, community, and competition at Schar Center against Campbell University. ENN's Kathan Gandhi has more on how the game went.
Debuting their all-black uniforms, the Phoenix took the court Friday night, turning a regular matchup against Campbell into a celebration of Black history on campus. Elon Black student organizations like the Black Student Union and several Divine Nine groups were in attendance, highlighting their impact across campus. The night opened with the performance by Elon's a cappella group, the Melanated Melodies. Women's basketball followed by raising their fists during the national anthem. On the court, Elon came out hot, shooting 82% in the first quarter. Campbell closed the gap, but Elon held the lead thanks to 16 points from sophomore Lene Corbett. Head coach Charlotte Smith says it was an important night for fans and players.
We've talked about Black History Month for the whole entire month. I feel like it's important for me as an African American coach to make sure that our players understand culture, whether you're Black, whether you're white, because Black history is American history.
Smith also honored civil rights leader Jesse Jackson, emphasizing representation and identity throughout the event. Elon closed the night with a 68-54 win over Campbell. They improved to 12-13 on the season, carrying both momentum and meaning into the rest of the season. Keithan Gandhi, ENN Tonight.
Elon then played Northeastern on Sunday, winning 70-57. They next play Hofstra on February 27th.
As the planning of the Elon-Queens merger continues, another interesting angle. Olympic athlete Mystique Rowe. Rowe was Team USA's head athlete in the Olympic women's skeleton event, coming a long way from her time at Queens University. Rowe competed in track and field for Queens from 2012 to 2016. She was invited to USA's bobsled team, bobsled and rookie camp soon after, pivoting full-time to skeleton. She made her World Luge debut in 2023. In 2025, she became the first American woman to medal at the Luge World Championships in 12 years, earning silver. She made her Olympic debut this year in the Winter Games. Rowe placed 15th in women's skeleton and 7th in the mixed competition. Queens President Jesse Curtin said, "Watching Rowe compete was a profoundly proud moment for the entire Queens community." Elon President Connie Book has stated that the two schools' programs will continue to operate separately. Elon Athletics declined ENN's request for comment, and Rowe did not respond to our request for comment. Elon Student Union Board hosts game nights throughout the year, and these events are a place where all are welcome to play games, enjoy snacks, listen to music, and relax. Though the turnout was light this weekend, Sub says it aims to build an inclusive space and a way for students to meet new people. Sub board member and Elon freshman Tatiana Lorich says she loves being a part of the organization and giving back to her community. Lorich says she first joined Sub to find a place at the school.
Even at 6 months, sometimes people are still having a hard time, and coming here and being able to have food and play and listen to music and hang out with friends, that's what it means to be a human being, is having community. And I think that's what the student union is all about.
Sub members say they're excited for Elon Day on March 5th. This day will have tons for students to get involved in, like bracelet making and a visit from Sub's chosen comedian, Leslie Jones.
In true Mardi Gras fashion, McCreary Theater got a taste of New Orleans with a jazz concert. ENN's Abby Gravely has more.
Tuba Skinny's concert was full of foot tapping and unique instruments. The 7-piece ensemble gave a 2-set performance as part of Elon's annual jazz festival. Assistant Professor of Music and Director of Jazz Studies, Alex Heidinger, says that the concert helps bring his students an experience that goes beyond the classroom.
I think this kind of music is way better live, even than on recordings. It's sometimes hard listening to those old scratchy recordings and really getting a feel for it. So a group like this really brings it to life.
Elon's students weren't the only ones invited. Mary Catherine Murray is a resident at Burlington's Twin Oaks retirement home. Murray says she isn't typically a jazz fan, but the band's name caught her eye.
I actually thought it was going to be a whole group of tubas on this.
Though there was only one tuba, Murray enjoyed the energetic music and says that she'll take any opportunity to come to events at Elon. Abby Gravely, ENN Tonight.
This 6-day jazz festival included concerts, guest musicians, and workshops for college, high school, and middle school musicians.
A new twist is coming to Cookout. From tacos to the walking taco, what makes Cookout Tacaroos a different take on a local favorite?
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed.
In 4 days. There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children. She didn't know what to do.
Did you have a good day at school?
She gave them some broth. Without any bread.
There you go.
And kissed them all soundly.
Night night.
Good night. And put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
Women are bad with money. That's what the world's been saying for centuries. But now we've got something to say.
Save it. It's time to save ourselves by saving our money.
Until we're no longer 80% more likely than men to live in poverty in retirement.
Save it. The falsehoods, the feelings of fault.
Then, the funds. Learn how to save for your retirement at wesaysaveit.org.
I've always been told I gotta be strong. Thick skin, tough as nails. But to be everything for everybody, it wears on you. Black don't crack, they say. But it can. We all can. Reach out to a friend if you see them going through it. No matter who you are, being vulnerable is what makes us whole. Learn how to help at seizetheawkward.org.
That's it, folks. The cookout you're used to seeing on Huffman Mill Road is closed permanently. Don't worry, though, because a newer and bigger cookout opened right across the street. This cookout looks a little different because it's called Cookout Taco Roos and has a place to sit inside. The menu is the same, but a taco-roo is more of a Southwestern-style idea from the creators of Cookout, according to a food reviewer. This version specializes in tacos, burritos, and nachos, featuring the walking taco, which is basically a deconstructed taco served in a bag of chips.
Well, last week it was unseasonably warm, and today it was cold again. Now, the groundhog said there would be 6 more weeks of winter, but Mackenzie, will we be back to typical February weather this week?
Thanks, Charlotte. Thankfully, it looks like this early spring weather will continue into this week. Now for your Phoenix 5-day forecast. Tonight we'll have a low of 24 and more of that wind we saw today, so bundle up. Tomorrow we'll see a high of 45 with partly sunny skies. Wednesday it'll start to warm up more with a high of 59 and mostly cloudy skies. Thursday and Friday we'll see more of the same with highs in the mid-60s. It'll start out cloudy and then on Friday the sun will finally come out. And finally, Saturday we'll have complete sun and a high of 67. That's all for Elon, but up north had a bomb cyclone. This just means a large storm that rapidly forms over 24 hours, and in this case, it was a blizzard. Hitting much of the East Coast from Maryland all the way up to Maine, this blizzard brought heavy snowfall and high wind gusts of about 35 miles per hour. But that's all I have for you guys. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Mackenzie. We'll be sure to keep an eye out for the weather this week.
Well, that's all the news we have for you this evening. Thank you so much for joining us.
Head over to our website, elonnewsnetwork.com, for stories, sports, and more.
Make sure to follow us on social media at Elon News Network.
And tonight, we're going to leave you with some extra video from the Elon women's basketball game against Campbell University. Have a great night, Elon.